Tonight on Good Evening, Blazer basketball is one of the best shows in America, says NBC Sports.
It's wonderful doing a game here because you've got that feel of the crowd just all around you. It's a vibrant, electric crowd.
When the Blazer game is televised on national TV this Saturday, there'll be plenty of action off the court. You'll see as Good Evening goes behind the scenes with NBC Sports. And now, make it a good evening with your hosts Greg Walker and Teresa Richardson.
It's a Friday, and welcome to Good Evening. Good to have you here tonight.
It's a gorgeous day, and the Blazers won all of these good things. The weekend is here.
Last night, they played so well. They came out in the first half.
75 points in the first half?
And
what were
owned the
they
Lakers.
thinking?
They would have beaten any team in the NBA last night. They were that good. Perfect.
Well, you were fortunate to be at the game last night. Not everyone was able to see it because it was blacked out in the Portland area. You could see it if you have Blazer cable. But, you know, the farther we get into the playoffs, a lot more people will be able to see the games because right here on Channel 8, NBC is going to cover them.
As we speak, an NBC crews at the Coliseum. You can see their big vans, the huge technical trucks parked outside the Coliseum, and all the cable. They're getting ready for tomorrow's game, too.
Well, last Saturday's game against the Lakers was also on national TV, and so we decided to send a Good Evening crew over to the Coliseum to find out how NBC gets all of these Blazer games into every American living room.
This is the NBA on NBC. Today, it's the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Portland Trail Blazers.
It's springtime in the City of Roses, and that means playoff basketball.
Springtime also means NBC Sports is in town. Announcers with navy blue jackets, big NBC trucks on the Coliseum parking lot, and because this is national television, free Trailblazer home games.
It's wonderful doing a game here because you've got that feel of the crowd just all around you. It's a vibrant, electric crowd.
Ready, one. Big one.
NBC's coverage of the NBA is a show within a show. And the network is here to cover a story as much as a game.
Trailblazers looking for revenge. Lakers looking to stay alive for the playoffs.
But the story would never be told on television if it weren't for a behind-the-scenes team the fans at home never get to see or hear.
What was the graphic we talked about?
Buffer in, and buffer in with Flade one. You got him.
It appears to an outsider that it's total panic with screaming and yelling, but actually it's the most intimate of communication.
Oh, drop it. Take two. Where'd he go? Oh, 3. You had Divac and you lost it.
NBC pulls into town at least 2 days before game day. A crew of 40 will set up 9 cameras, string 20 miles of cable, and before the final buzzer sounds, chew an undisclosed amount of gum.
Our hours are awful. You don't know where you're going next week. But the challenge is the fact that you're going in somewhere and you're going to put a camera on your shoulder and you're going to do a live show.
Can you pull that one up for me so I can remember what it looks like?
Bye. Insert. Do it again.
Putting the NBA on NBC means late-night editing sessions and early morning crew calls.
In all, they won't say it, but obviously in the back of their minds is, hey, we're going to get back at the Lakers and knock them out of the playoffs for what they did to us last year.
About 2 hours before tip-off, NBC play-by-play announcer Tom Hammond and analyst Steve Jones arrive. And after the Coach Edelman fiasco of years past, NBC makes certain its commentators are properly coached.
Of the NBA on NBC.
They've gotten to thinking, the NBA sends out a pronunciation guide of difficult names anyway. So now they make sure that we all have them so that we can get the players' names right, the coaches' names right, and, that's a big slap on the hand if you drop the ball on that.
We're about 4 to air, yeah.
The behind-the-scenes play-by-play comes from these NBC trucks.
30. Black on the line.
Inside, there are producers, directors, tape operators, all working in a space not much larger than a submarine.
It is like a submarine, except that we can surface often, Roll tape red on the line, track red.
Director John Gonzalez, whose voice you hear, calls the shots.
7 with a lot of bodies sprawling. Come back and show me the whole group of them, and I'll take you live.
While we like to believe that the Blazers are the greatest team around, NBC has to remain neutral in their coverage of a game. But they do admit the Portland Trail Blazers make for terrific television.
Man, Robinson's good.
And you've got somebody like a Drexler and who's possibly as exciting a player as a Michael Jordan, but doesn't get his due. To try and expose all of his talents is fantastic. And then you've got the moodiness of some of the players like a Duckworth and a Cliff Robinson. It's just a fantastic team to cover.
James will take the deuce.
Ready, take one, you're on. Porter's coming in, Porter's coming in.
Well, as we have said on numerous occasions, these two teams don't care for each other.
Hit the music. 20 off there.
So the Los Angeles Lakers still can make it to the playoffs.
The Blazers ended their regular season with a loss to the Lakers. But fortunately, it just marks the beginning of a hot new series on NBC, the NBA playoffs.
A lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, so hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. See ya.
I have a lot of admiration for Steve Jones. Super basketball player and now a terrific broadcaster.
You know, what an exciting job he must have, but how difficult it would be to constantly be traveling here, traveling there, the jet lag. I don't know how they do it sometimes.
Yeah, what time is it? What day is it? Where am I?
Yeah.
They literally don't know where they're going to be one week to the next. This week's Portland, next week could be the French Open. It sounds kind of exciting, but I bet it gets old pretty quick.
Well, this does sound exciting. When the NBC crew is done with the playoffs, they're heading off to Barcelona for the Summer Olympics. Now, I would more than gladly carry cable, do anything.
I knew you'd volunteer. Don't forget, though, first things first, it's tomorrow. It's at 12:30 right here on Channel 8. Game 2 NBA playoffs. You won't want to miss
Go Blazers.
it. The Blazers will beat the Lakers again.